Welcome to Suburban Death Metal Dad Recommends, episode 10, where I'll be talking about the band Suicidal Tendencies. Debut album released 1983, self-titled, basically legendary in my opinion, punk record out of Venice. Killer tracks on that one, institutionalized. They have a video for that one. I Saw Your Mommy, Memories of Tomorrow, Subliminal, I Won't Fall in Love Today, Possessed. It's just an excellent record. Sounds great too. Then in 1987, the band releases their second album, and this is Rocky George, lead guitarist, his debut with the band, and it's another excellent record. More of a crossover, I would say. They're starting to go in more of a thrash direction here, mixed in with their punk. Opener, Suicidal Maniac, Totally Killer, War Inside My Head, A Little Each Day, Possessed, Escaped. Just another classic record from the band, and you can see that they're already, you know, morphing, incorporating other things into their style. And Rocky George, can't say enough great things about him. Excellent lead guitarist, writes great riffs, great leads, and we see on later releases, the clean guitar parts are just really, really excellent. And so 1988, to go a step further, more in the thrash direction, add guitarist Mike Clark from the band No Mercy, and this is the release How Will I Laugh Tomorrow When I Can't Even Smile Today. Excellent. Opener, Trip at the Brain, Hearing Voices, Pledge Your Allegiance, Sorry, The Miracle, The Feeling's Back, How Will I Laugh Tomorrow. Just, once again, another excellent release and just killer guitar work. And the band, is on an upward trajectory, in my opinion, getting more exposure. And it was probably, I think, before this release when I first heard them. It would have been like 87, and it was the debut album when I first heard them. I distinctly remember I Saw Your Mommy being one of the first songs I heard. It was just, really nasty lyrics and, a cool punk song. So anyway, going into 1989, the band added Robert Trujillo to the lineup, just another excellent musician, killer bass player. And at this time, they'd released two EPs together, Controlled by Hatred, Feel Like Shit, Deja Vu, which Robert didn't play on, but it's, got a lot of tracks, basically, I would say cover songs from the band No Mercy that Mike Clark came from. And actually, the album they did, Mike Muir sang vocals on, but I'll talk about that later. So they do some covers of that and a couple other songs, and it's a pretty good record, I would say. The two EPs together, and they do like Controlled by Hatred and Masters of No Mercy, Wake the Dead. They have a video for that one, and a couple versions of How Will I Laugh Tomorrow, like an edited version, I believe maybe that they used from the video, as well as a heavy emotion version. So it's a cool release. And this leads up to 1990, where they release what I consider probably their best album, Lights Camera Revolution. It's just a phenomenal thrash metal record, one of the best in my opinion. Opener, You Can't Bring Me Down, is one of the greatest thrash songs of all time, in my opinion. And songs like Lost Again, Send Me Your Money, Going Breakdown, excellent. Give It Revolution, Disco's Out, Murder's In, Get Whacked, Emotion Number 13. Just overall an excellent release. And then the band goes into 92, releases their next album, The Art of Rebellion. This one's a little bit more expanded as far as the sound goes. A little bit more, longer songs, more atmosphere, not just straight ahead thrashing like on Lights Camera Revolution, I would say. But it's still a very good release. Opener, Can't Stop, is really great. Nobody Hears, they have a video for that one. That's one of my favorites. Monopoly on Sorrow, Where's the Truth? I like that one a lot. I Wasn't Meant to Feel This. Accept My Sacrifice. Yeah, it's just Suicidal Tendencies, like I said, expanding their sound, but they still have, pretty thrashy sound, but just expanding with some other, atmosphere and stuff like that. But nothing too wild, I would say. And then in 1994, they released what I consider another really great record, probably my second favorite, Suicidal for Life. And this one goes back to more, I would say it's more in line with Lights Camera Revolution, more straight ahead, just killer tracks, kind of trim the fat that was on The Art of Rebellion. And some of my favorite tracks on that one. What else could I do? Evil, Love versus Loneliness. Um, just top to bottom, another great record from the band. And this is kind of where the band stops for me in a way. This is where the band basically split up for a while. And, Rocky George never returned to the band. And in my opinion, that's kind of where I left off, like I said, with the band. They released, many more records and they're still going today and everything. And I do have most of them. And like I said, they're not bad or anything. It's just they kind of lost that thrash. Thrash took a bit of a back seat, with Rocky George being out of the band, and eventually Mike Clark left, and you know, they still put out good records. I would say, they're not bad. It's just for me, Suicidal Tendencies is basically the debut up to Suicidal for Life, and that's the stuff that I listen to constantly. So basically, at this point, I'll just basically show what I have from my collection, starting with debut album. Cool cover, I think. Definitely one to check out, if you're into punk. And then second release, Join the Army. Pretty cool cover. And like I said, this is basically a bridge between the debut and their third release, How Will I Laugh Tomorrow When I Can't Even Smile Today. One of my favorites as well. And then there's the two EPs together, Controlled by Hatred, Feel Like Shit, Deja Vu. And then my personal favorite, and this is a special 2 CD digipack I got, but it has the Lights Camera Revolution, and then as well, I didn't mention earlier, but they re-recorded the debut along with a couple tracks from Join the Army, and then there's an unreleased track from the Lights Camera Revolution album. This one is called Still Psycho After All These Years. And I believe they re-recorded this basically because they were getting paid from the label for the debut album. Something like that is the reason for them re-recording it, from what I read. And then here's 1992's The Art of Rebellion. Like I said, it's still a pretty good release. It's a little bit, expanded on the sound, and it's still really good though. And then another one of my personal favorites here is Suicidal for Life from 1994. And I did see them. I've only seen them once. And it was when they were touring with Metallica, and it was on this record. This is 1994, and to be honest, I was more excited to see Suicidal Tendencies than Metallica at that point. And then in 1997, they released this Prime Cuts best of, and there's a couple unreleased tracks on here, and they're okay. But it's a cool collection to have. And then in 2010, I picked this one up, and I do like this one. And it's Suicidal Tendencies, No Mercy Fool, The Suicidal Family. And this one also has a new song on it called Come Alive, which I think is pretty good. I did like it a lot, as well as more re-recorded tracks from the band No Mercy. And it was around this time that that No Mercy record from 1987, Widespread Bloodshed, Love Runs Red was re-released, and this is a very good record in my opinion. It's basically pretty similar, I think, to Join the Army, and they were both released around the same time, 1987. And it's got Mike Muir on vocals and Mike Clark on guitar. It's definitely worth picking up if you're a fan of the early Suicidal crossover period. And another thing I have here is VHS Lights Camera Suicidal. Basically has a bunch of videos on it. Unfortunately, not the institutionalized video, but their videos leading up to and including the Lights Camera Revolution um, video with You Can't Bring Me Down. And it's got Mike Muir in between the videos talking about the songs, a little bit about the band and stuff. So it's really cool to have this. And I think Mike Muir, in addition to being a really good vocalist and lyricist, just has a strong philosophy and strong opinions and stuff, and just really good outlook, I think. And so. And I have just a couple of vinyls. I have the debut on vinyl, as well as my personal favorite, of course, Lights Camera Revolution. So there you have it. Suicidal Tendencies. Definitely worth checking out if you're into punk, for the early stuff, or maybe the more recent stuff, or the thrash. I think the thrash period of the band is, really excellent. All right. See you in the next one.